Well, that went a bit pear-shaped. Look at the state of that. What the hell happened to that? Look at the state of it. Yeesh. But that's just dust or wear and tear. Anyway, I was going to show you inside a normal standard 3.5 inch or 5.5 inch, whatever bloody size it is, standard hard drive. By the look of it, this one's going to be a bit of a fail. I mean, that is just horrible. Somehow, I mean, the case hasn't been damaged. Not from what I can see. It's not been open. Something catastrophic has happened inside the case. I've got crap all over my hands and everything. That's literally getting everywhere. That's almost like a soot of some description. I mean, that metal plate there has actually had it completely. That is, I mean, you can hear that is completely and utterly toast. Well, the actuator kind of still moves. Oh, it's just crap going everywhere. What the hell? Means I'm gonna have to dig out another one now. See if I can show you one that's not actually ruined on the inside. So I shall do exactly that, and let's get back to having a look inside a normal one, and hopefully it's not completely busted like this one. Right, okay, that was a bit nicer, in the sense it ain't got crap all over the place. I'm still rubbing it off my hands. I don't know what the hell that was on that last drive. Sorry about the exposure on that last footage of the time-lapsey stuff. I forgot to set the exposure, so it was all a bit too bright. So my apologies for those watching in HD and had you blinded. My apologies. So this one seems to be a bit better of an example. As you can see, there's my light, hello light. It's a lot cleaner. A lot cleaner. Look how super shiny that disc is. That is crazy. I always find that a feat of technology. That is bloody good. Look at that. That's one sexy hard drive. All those bits and pieces in it, you know. There's not a lot to it really. I mean, this is a 160 gig hard drive. It's quite an old one, but as I said before, that disk area is very sensitive to dirt, dust, anything, any particulates that you get in there. So what you generally, rule of thumb is, if you open these drives, they're generally no good after that. Might as well just chuck them away. Slightest little bit of dust can between the actuator head and obviously the disc itself, so the plateau and the disc itself, can ruin it completely. So let me go ahead. Let me see if I can find my smaller. These are all Torx screws, by the way. Let me see that. But they're pretty tiny. I mean, that is uber tiny. I don't think I've got a. Oh, I may have a Torx screw small enough. Will we be lucky? No, we won't. Okay, let's go to the next one up. That seems to be a little bit better. I'm going to try and take this disc off, or this area off, without actually getting my fingers on it, to show you guys exactly what it looks like. So I can get it nice and clean, so you guys can have a look properly at it. So there's so many different size Torxes on here. Torx screws, or security screw, whatever you want to call them. That tends to be a bit smaller. Oops. There we go, that one fits on there. So, yeah, so if you're thinking of taking these apart, make sure you have your Torx screw set handy, because you are going to need it, absolutely. Because you want to try and take all the screws out when you're doing this. That one out. And so I'm being careful not to touch this disc surface, because I want to show you in its mint condition. So that's just a plug that plugs to the other side, to the circuit board. And I need the larger Torx to take this actuator arm out. Oh, it's had to be different, didn't it? All of them are Torx as opposed to the larger one. The last drive, it was a Torx screwdriver. This one just seems to be a flat. Oh, it's a single platter system. Yeah, them ones. Neodymium magnets on this, on these. Look at that. That's pretty nice. That nice little gold flex connector. That's the actual read and write head. That's pretty cool. Neodymium magnets, always good to save. You can use them for many different projects or stuff like that, for picking up screws, especially for attaching your screwdriver when you're trying to undo a screw next to one, is specifically very good. So that's the neodymium magnet inside there. Screws are out. Oh, I just touched the side. I've ruined it. Not to worry. Let's take these completely out. Try not to ruin it any further. So as you can tell, this is completely different setup to the last one that I showed you guys. The server grade seemed to have a smaller size disc inside them. So this is going to be difficult. So let me get it from that side. Oh, it's actually riveted on the other side. God, I make that difficult, don't they? So let me try. When I say try, and get that out like that. That's the motor, obviously. Oh, look at that. That is awesome. That is really something. And that is where all your data is stored when you save all your files and stuff. But as I say, in the last video, like I showed you, gets dirty very, very quickly. But I love these. They're brilliant. I love the idea of them. This is the motor. I think it's actually built into the actual chassis itself. Would be nice to salvage those. Look, you can see it's kind of hard pinned in there, I think. Let me see if that doesn't look like a Torx screw, but it may well be. For taking the top end of the drive off, maybe it's not. But yeah, you could probably salvage those or use this chassis for some other experiment, I suppose. So I keep going off center of camera. But that's the motor drive itself. This again, as I say, this is for either noise dampening or soaking up moisture. I'm not sure. Probably has multi-purpose. But yeah, the boards on these are, you know, there's hardly anything on them. Obviously, there'll be a chip on the other side of here. Actually, let's have a look. I've got enough time on my footage. What are we at? 7 minutes. So I've got about 10 minutes per 60 frames a second capture on the M100. So I'm 7 minutes in. So let me just do that for you. I'll have a look at the underside of this board and see if there's actually what chips are actually on there. Obviously it'd be a controller chip. It was obviously convert, you know, the data on the spindle to readable, usable data. Oh, there you go. So that's basically, what's that? LSI. That's the main processor. That's obviously some memory. That looks like a possibly an I/O chip of some description. A couple of inductors for the power supply. And as I say, not real much doing. I mean, these drives are not locked to each other, so you can use these in other models. So if you find you've got sort of burnt out boards on the same model of hard drive, you can interchange them as long as it's the same hard drive model. Because as long as they have the same contacts there, those 3 gold pins there are obviously for contact for the motor. So yeah, quite a nice piece of engineering. I mean, that's all machined very well, like all the outsides, all the screw holes and all that stuff. And there's another, there you go, there's another one of those kind of like filters, like air dampeners or silicone-y stuff. I'm not really sure what you call it, but yeah. So that was the dead one we took out. This one was the original one we looked at, which is the server grade hard drive. I'm not going to take all that out. I really can't be bothered. But there's a lot more weight in that than there is in this one, to be honest. To be fair. So yeah, let's have a look at a standard 3.5 inch or 5 1/4, whatever size they are. I don't know. Inch hard drive, so non-server grade and server grade. I'll link the other video in down below if you've not seen it, somewhere down here. And please comment, link and subscribe, and I'll see you next time, tube users.